We are here at Mariucci with the 3 camp invitees for World Juniors. We got Brodie Ziemer. Did I pronounce that right?
Yep, that's right.
Beauty. Oliver Moore, that's a pretty easy one. And Matthew Wood, which, just so weird that I'm looking at a Canadian World Junior participant in here. It's kind of strange. I'm pretty sure we fact-checked it, and I don't think there's ever been a Canadian representative
really
for the Gophers.
That's pretty cool.
If there is, someone will be sure to abuse us in the comments over it, but
yeah.
whatever.
There's no Canadian-U.S. thing that there was like in, Miracle with like the Boston and Minnesota people like in college, right? And so like rival, like you guys and you'll give each other crap all the time, right? For like
they're not shunning you, are they?
Yeah.
They're not. No.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all good.
As long as he keeps scoring.
Yeah.
As long as he stays on the stat sheet.
So this weekend, guys, obviously, I guess Michigan couldn't be 2 different games. I guess obviously Friday's game, the blowout there. Saturday, obviously, a lot more physical, and thought there might be a brawl at the end. Just how would you guys characterize what that weekend was like for you guys, and how it can boost you going forward? Because obviously a really big rival, and you found a way to win both different ways. It felt like.
Yeah, I think that was a huge weekend, obviously, for our team. It was Friday night. It wasn't an easy win. We just played really well. We came out and played hard, played to our identity, and obviously the score 6-0 was a big win for us. And then Saturday night was obviously crazy. We went down. We had 2 injuries midway through the game, and guys just continue to step up. And it's awesome to see, like, the Nick Michaels, just the guys who can come into our lineup and make an impact is awesome.
I know, Oliver, you've been here for a year now, and a couple of you guys are relatively new here. Like, what was that crowd like to be part of? I'm sure you've seen big crowds in college hockey now, but just what was that whole experience like? It felt like the roof was going to kind of pop off a little bit.
I mean, yeah, I've played in a couple college games, and that was really, really cool. Everyone in the stands was definitely into the game, and it's just like there's so much positive energy in our building and with our team. So it's just like, for me personally, like, was one of the coolest weekends that I've ever played in.
How about you, Brodie? Like, what was your kind of?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I feel like growing up, you've obviously like watched these games, and when Michigan comes to town, I feel like it's just a different energy, like a different vibe. And obviously, the student section was great. Like, our fans are probably the best in college hockey, and it was super fun to play in front of.
I can ask you guys, like, we were on the press box, we couldn't hear what was happening, but we saw Kester, a bunch of you guys at the end of the game. Snuggerud got hit against the boards. Saw Kester, a bunch of guys jawing towards the Michigan bench in a less colorful language. Can you tell me kind of what was going to be the message being sent there? I felt like the 11 seconds left face off, there was going to be some full out slap shot.
I had the camera out immediately.
Like, we were like ready to record. Like, what was in your mind going through there, and like how you guys able to just do a face off right after that?
Yeah, I mean, I was out there. Woody and I were both out there, and I was trying to beat the icing in case Snugs missed the empty net, and I'm celebrating, and then I see him just laying on the ground face down, and I'm like, I didn't really see what happened, but obviously that's a dangerous hockey play. You don't want to see that, especially with 11 seconds left, and game's kind of over, obviously. And I think the natural, obviously, he's a teammate, you want to defend him, and I think a couple guys got in there, and then obviously the jawing between the benches was it was just that rivalry and that emotion coming out.
And then the handshakes, like, doesn't really ever happen,
Yeah.
Handshake.
Yep.
I mean, that's what still blows my mind about college hockey. I'm from Canada, right? And I grew up watching junior. I watched BCHL, WHL, especially in the dub, like growing up in like early 2000s, like there was no handshakes after that. So I like commend like how like the sportsmanship that you guys have, especially in those big rivalry games, to like, especially towards the end of the game, you heed the moment, and then there's that ritual and that kind of that just like respect of the game after. Whereas, like I said, growing up in Prince George, BC, and then Victoria, yeah, that doesn't happen in the WHL.
Just kind of building off of that, like, everyone is really emotional at the end of the game, especially close games like those, and everyone, was talking in between benches, and I think Kester kind of came in, and he's a great leader, and he just kind of told them to have a little bit of class, and tells us all the time to win with class, lose with class, and kind of calmed everyone down a bit. So we have special leaders like that, so we were able to keep our composure.
No, I got to ask you guys, because there's a couple players that I'm sure all 3 of you can look at and be like, yeah, I kind of expected you to be a little unhinged in this game. Was there anyone whose wires crossed and you're like, whoa, I haven't seen that side of them before?
I mean, not really necessarily, honestly. I mean, I grew up kind of playing with Garrett Shifsky, and I mean, just kind of against him, and it was kind of funny. I think we were out there for a couple brawls or whatever, but I mean, nothing crazy, honestly. I think it was just everyone was pretty emotional, and I think, like I said, like with Woody, we have great leaders from the top down on our team, and we were able to kind of keep our composure, and obviously the momentum kind of went to us. So
We're at the alumni golf outing this summer. You see a lot of the guys, the former greats, come through from like the championship teams from 20 plus years ago. And like, how much are you guys kind of immersed into that tradition? How much are you guys kind of introduced to some of those guys? And maybe, I don't know if you came from different backgrounds, so you probably wouldn't have watched them like 20 years ago. Probably weren't even born 20 years ago. Like, just how are you guys kind of get so familiar with that history, and kind of is that team, those teams from the 2021, like the ones that are like the model or standards you guys have always kind of talk about?
I feel like for me, just like obviously being new, being a freshman, like right away when I walked in, like you can just feel the culture and like feel how special this place is. And I mean, it's why so many greats have come through here. And, you know, it's just constantly people trying to leave it better than they found it. And, you know, it's a really special spot.
That how you found it too? I know you had a chance to kind of decide where you wanted to kind of play this year. Kind of when did that decision, and kind of how did you kind of see that culture in that recruiting process?
Yeah, I think I got really lucky. I was in the transfer portal and made a decision to come play here, and you know, I really liked the staff and the players that were here, and I was excited to play on a really, really talented team. And I think the biggest thing that I found since being here is just the character of the people here, and how much care there is for everyone in the room. And that goes for staff as well. Everyone is super happy to come to the rink, and it's like people say, oh, this is the best spot, but this is really, like, you don't get this kind of character and togetherness everywhere you go. So I'm really enjoying my time here, and I think, like Ziemer said, just try to leave it better than you found it, which is hard to do, and that's why everyone's held to a high standard every day.
Now, we're going to stick with you on this to start, Matthew, because like, we talked a little bit about the Michigan rivalry there. There's a lot of teams that, like, if you ask any fan, you're going to hear a very different answer on who the biggest rival of the Gophers is. Like, first, for you, like, was that your first, like, feel of rivalry since coming over here, or how's it been?
I'd say probably was. I can't wait to play them again, to be honest. And I had a lot of fun, and I think it was. I mean, for me personally, I felt just after the game, everyone in the room felt as one, and I mean, it's a hard feeling to describe, but I think that was. I don't think we needed a turning point in the year, but I think that is a weekend that we can look back on and say, remember what we were doing during this weekend, and everyone came together.
It's a little bit more intense than, you know, defending the home turf at the Q Center against Powell River or the Clippers.
Definitely, yeah. No, the college rivalries they're so fun, and they have so much energy, and yeah, I mean, college.
No disrespect to the Q Center, but like Mariucci's on another level.
Yeah,
okay, guys?
Yeah, no, Q
For
Center.
like the three of my friends from the island watching this.
Yeah, so the Q Center where the Victoria Grizzlies played. I played juniors there.
Awesome organization.
And I absolutely loved my time there. Grateful for all my teammates and staff there for sure. I'm never going to forget that place, and definitely they helped me to be able to play in these type of rivalry games for sure.
And Brodie, to you, like, again, your first year here, but you grew up like a Gopher fan, I imagine, in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So for you, like, obviously there's a little bias too with that SportsCenter top 10 goal you scored, but like Wisconsin, North Dakota, Michigan, like, who would you say is the biggest rival current day?
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I think growing up, I think if you asked me, it would always be North Dakota. You know, with obviously them not being on the schedule this year, and the last couple of years, it's maybe not been as big. But I don't know. I feel like you probably can't beat that. Like having North Dakota fans, they obviously travel really well. Coming to Mariucci, like I don't think it gets any better than that.
That was my
It's
first
insane.
game when I moved here, and they were telling me, I was like, oh, I've been to some like rivalry games, been to a bunch of NHL games with heated rivalries. Like, no, it's different. And like, dude, there's like people like throwing hands in the stands. I was like, oh my god,
There was a girl with her parents in
Oh,
front of
yeah.
us that was like ready to fight you.
And like, I wasn't even saying anything. We were just like, good goal. And she's like, shut the F up. And her mom's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, jeez.
Well, I mean, you played them last year, Ollie. Like, is it still North Dakota, like hands down, or is it just a different feel? Like this year, you don't even play them. It's a shame.
Yeah, that series last year was obviously pretty crazy. I scored my first college goal there. So yeah, it's a series I'll never forget. But I mean, I feel like the rivalry situation is just there's like we're Minnesota, every team's gonna bring their best against us, and we're obviously gonna bring our best against every other team too. But the history with North Dakota, Michigan, I think that's what kind of makes this place a special place is that we do have those, big time rivalries. And I remember I took 2 penalties last year against North Dakota, and the student section's on top of you, and you're feeling their wrath for sure. But yeah, no, it's all fun in college hockey. That's why you play college hockey at the end of the day.
I still don't think I'll ever get over Pitlick just chucking his stick out into the
Oh, yeah,
stands.
that was wild.
Like
Yeah,
it hurt the team and it was dumb, and I'll deny it if Bob ever views this, but like I loved it. I was so happy he did it.
That was funny.
Well, all right, so deep rivalries for the Gophers. How does USA Canada compare for the three of you? Like, is it an even more heated rivalry, or is it just different because it's not something you guys are playing in every day?
I mean, me and Ollie played against each other last year pre-tournament. So it wasn't as big because it was a pre-tournament game and everyone's getting their feet under them. But I'm sure we've all played U18 games. In those games, especially because kids may be a little younger, they can get out of hand quickly. The difference about those games is you only get one game and you're done. Like the winner goes and gets a chance, or the winner wins the medal. And things escalate really, really quickly in those games.
Yeah, I think just the nation versus like it's a country versus another country. I don't think there's anything like representing your country and putting on the USA jersey. And yeah, I think that anytime you get a chance to play in a game like that, obviously I played him in the pre-tournament. It was a little different, but yeah, it's different. Like what he said, the stakes are a little higher just it being one game. But I'm sure if we played against North Dakota in an elimination game at the end of the year, it's gonna be a battle too. So yeah, I think it's special to be able to put on the USA jersey, and yeah, something you can't take for granted for sure.
Yeah, just like Oliver said, it's such a privilege to be able to wear that crest and represent your country. I mean, I guess also here we're really lucky we get to represent the state of Minnesota. Honestly, I feel like, and so just kind of putting your best foot forward every day. But yeah, there's really nothing like representing your country and going and playing against other countries, and it's super special, especially when you get to play Canada. So.
Yeah, for guys like yourself who played for the national program in Michigan too, like a lot of the guys that played in your conference too played on the same team. You have Isaac Howard and Stramel, like that. For you, you played with Stramel too. Just what's it like to watch him bounce back this year, and you kind of watch him and see kind of all the stuff you probably experienced playing with him. I know it was probably tough the last couple of years in Wisconsin, but it seems like this is his identity. This is who he is.
Yeah, I think it's awesome to see. I grew up kind of Strams is an 04, so I grew up in Rosemount, so I kind of watched him from afar a little bit. I don't think I ever really played against him, but all that 04, 2004 group at the U.S. national program was he was obviously someone who I looked up to, and yeah, to see him having a great year at Michigan State this year, it's with his story, it's really special to see, and I wish nothing but the best for that guy. He's a great kid, and yeah, I'm glad to see he's doing well as Ike and all those guys. It seems are doing well, and I'm looking forward to that series this weekend.
What makes the program such a special place, or it produces such such talent, or not just guys that are talented going in, but the ones that kind of come out of there and not only go play really good college hockey, but obviously play the NHL too.
Yeah, I just think the development side is like nothing else. You're constantly on the ice. You're constantly in the weight room. Just competing against like the best kids in the nation also, every day. And you spend so much time together, so you become so close. So, at the end of the 2 years, you can go try to win that gold medal at Worlds. So,
Matthew, like, there's plenty of things that the four of us can probably make fun of in Canada, but like, does it seem weird to you that there's like a development program for Team USA? Like, it's just like so different than how Canadians bring up their team.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different, and I mean, personally, I think it's genius what they do, but it's definitely a lot different what they do in Canada, and I mean, everyone's got their own way of doing things, and I mean, Canada and US both produce a lot of really talented prospects, and just goes to show that there's no one way of doing things.
This interview is brought to you by our friends at Waggle Golf. Waggle Golf believes what you wear on the course should reflect your individuality, who you are, where you're from, your hobbies, interests, and passions. All the stuff that makes you, well, you. That's why every design is inspired by the desire to create a piece of apparel that strikes a chord when you see it, that makes you say, wow, that was made for me. Because in a lot of ways, it was. Ready to get your waggle on? Go to getyourwaggleon.com, throw in promo code SP10 at checkout to take 10% off your entire order.
So I'll let you go first here, Matthew. In Minnesota for the first time, only been in the U.S. for a couple years now. Make fun of the U.S. Like, what's something that we do that's just like bonkers to you?
Well, my dad coached women's college hockey at New Hampshire and also here.
Oh, no way.
So I actually grew up a little bit in the States,
Okay.
moved to Canada. I was born in Canada, moved around a bit with my dad coaching, ended up on Vancouver Island, Nanaimo, when I was 10 years old. So spent quite a few years in the States now with being in college for 3 years.
I mean, do you feel bad going first? Like, I'll throw the first shot.
I don't I don't really know what to say. I think Canada and the US, from my point of view and what I do, like just playing hockey, but driving around, I'd say maybe they could have some more street lights. Like, there's some streets at night that get pretty dark. I remember I was driving in Connecticut, wouldn't have been too late, 8:30, and it was pretty dark, and just a bunch of deer out of nowhere. It can get pretty dangerous without those street lights.
This is the guy from Nanaimo where deer run around like squirrels.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I was not expecting streetlights.
I like it. I
I was thinking like a Minnesota thing, like from like say people saying "you betcha" or some of the accent stuff, or like the Juicy Lucy obsession, or like something else that's
Just
kind of
smothering every food and ranch.
I don't mind that.
Oh, you're my people. I
Yeah.
like you.
Yeah.
All right, so explain this to me then. Why do you take one of the greatest foods, bacon, and turn it into ham?
Stop it.
I mean, that's not a question that I would have any answer to. So maybe you would know.
They just call ham Canadian bacon here, and it's weird.
I honestly.
That's
am
our
not the
problem.
person to
That's
ask.
not
Yeah,
your
that's
problem.
a you guys' problem.
That's our problem.
I just look at
Okay.
you guys dumbfounded, that's all. They also have a weird, they call what, toques beanies? That's another weird thing.
Toques are what holds your skate blade in.
Other than that, we're all pretty similar.
Have you guys like noticed anything from Matthew? Like anything that's just like, oh yeah, you're from Canada.
not really, honestly. Like, I sit next to him in the locker room, so you spend a lot of time with him. But no, it's nothing crazy. Just a lot of laughs going on in our two stalls.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty chill guy. Yeah, nothing
So he's
crazy.
just an honorary Minnesotan.
Yeah, I think Minnesota's pretty close to Canada anyways, so.
I mean, we're north of Toronto right now.
That's true.
Yeah, that's very true, yeah.
Who's the biggest personality in the room? Like, seeing like Liam's kind of a new guy. Seems like he has a lot of personality, but like, who would be the guy that'd be like, I guess Kester's another probably an example, but like, who'd be the one that would kind of get things started for you guys, or kind of bring leader for things?
I think.
has an answer.
He's chomping at the
What do you go
bit.
ahead?
No, you got it.
I think like for me, like a guy who ever since I got here is just like I relate to a lot, and I'm really good buddies with him. A lot of personalities. Mason Nevers.
There's a story here somewhere that we're probably not going to get.
He's
but
just he's like one of like I have nothing but great things to say about him. Like he is one of the best leaders like I've ever had. He's just a good guy.
Just a good guy.
Someone's got to expand on this. Is this like an outside joke?
I think Mason's awesome too.
Oh, he's the best.
No,
yeah.
never-
I've
yeah.
got a lot of good guys.
No.
He just has really good style too.
Yeah, he does. I mean, I would say the person, my first meeting here, I was probably a little nervous. First team meeting, and we were sitting in the video room, and Nick Michael kind of threw a chirp at Bob, and I was like, what's going on? But then everyone started laughing, so I was like, oh, okay, that's okay. But yeah, he just works hard every day, takes what he can get, tries to, bring positive energy every day. Him and Zach Weiss, both really positive guys. Every single day, they love being at the rink, and maybe don't get as much recognition on the ice, but I think off the ice, I mean, people have heard of like a glue guy. Those guys could be what you would call a glue guy, or people that create bonding experiences.
What was the chirp, or what was the line?
I would have no idea, but I remember everyone was laughing pretty hard, and it was funny.
I thought you were gonna go with or down the path of being like. So then I threw a chirp after, and everyone was silent, and I was like, "Oh, damn it!" Did not read the room.
I feel like Bob could take it though, right? Bob's been around a long time. I'm sure he could take it from some of the guys, right? Or
Yeah, he definitely.
You can take it.
Yeah.
For me, probably Connor Kurth.
Oh yeah.
He's just a character. Like he's a really funny guy. Like he's the guy who runs the music in the locker room. He's always got good vibes. So yeah.
What's like the song that came up that you're like, wait, what?
He usually plays a mix that just it's got like a bunch of different songs in it. But I like country before practice and stuff like that. So.
was it like a team bonding outing or trip you guys did early in the season? That kind of, so a lot of guys are new or either transfers or freshmen. Like what was kind of the thing that kind of helped glue you guys together? Where now, like Matthew said, you guys are like one, I guess, already on a couple months into the season.
Yeah, I think that it's not just one thing. I think a big thing for us that we emphasized after last year was coming into the gym. And like Matthew, guys who lived in Canada came in for a week or two. You came in for like a month actually. But we just all really like bonded through the work we did this summer, I feel like. And I think notoriously just from hearing from guys like Nevi and Kester, like with Minnesota starts the year a little slower, and then kind of picks it up as the year goes on. But I think a big reason why we're having so much success is just that work we put in the gym, and all the freshmen came in as well, and we all just kind of bonded through that, it feels like.
I think it's just the consistency of everyone. Like, I can't stress it enough. Everyone loves hockey here. Everyone loves coming to the rink every single day. And every single time you look at someone when you come to the rink, they're smiling. They're happy to be there. They're ready to work. And it's not just the players, it's the staff. Staff does an unbelievable job here. And I think at the end of the day, it's just everyone's here to win a national championship. And it's not just like, oh, we come to the rink and we say we want to win. We come to the rink and we do what we think is going to help us win.
Brodie, what was your initial kind of thing, your entryway into it? Like, hey, now I feel part of it. Now I feel like I belong with this group. Now I'm not just a new guy kind of thing.
Yeah, I think just right away in the summer, honestly, like, you're obviously a little nervous. Like when you first get here, you don't really know what to expect, and you're a little lost up in the weight room. Like, you're new to the exercises and stuff like that. But just guys like Oliver, Jimmy, Mason, Kester, like the way they kind of just welcomed me in and made me feel like I'm a part of the team now and that I'm, like a part of something bigger. It helped me fit in right away. So.
And obviously the gym is where you put the groundwork in to win those championships, but like a lot of the bonding happens off the ice and like the lunches or like the hangouts afterwards. Like were there something that you guys did in the summer together, like a lot as a group, as opposed to in cliques? Like was it golfing? Was it, was it ping pong? Was it like lunches here? Was it nights in Dickingtown? Or what was kind of the things that kind of brought you guys together off the ice when you guys were out of the gym, not working out?
I can't say as much in the summer because there's no dining hall. We were trying to get on the ice together as much as we could. But when hearing a certain off-ice activity, I think my favorite one was we had a golf tournament before the season started. And it ended up tied between two teams. And it was getting pretty dark, and everyone wanted to see it through, like even the guys that were out. So we took however many guys, 26 guys, 13 golf carts, one hole, and they tied. And we go to the next. Everyone takes the cart. There's no one left on the course. It's dark, and we're all just sitting around the green, waiting for the boys to tee off. And I mean, that was a memory that I was really happy to be a part of a team that I felt like it wasn't about the golf. Everyone just wanted to no one really wanted to leave. No one really wanted to go back and not be all together.
So it's like cell phone cameras, like or like lights, getting people to make sure they get their putts down, or like how do people make their putts at the end?
There actually is a video of I forget who it was. He drains a pretty long putt to tie it up, I think. Yeah, so then they got to go to the next hole. It's absolutely hilarious because everybody's just going crazy after it goes in.
Yeah. It was absurd. Yeah. It was absurd. That was, yeah.
So who won?
Oh, I honestly couldn't even.
I think
nobody remembers. Yeah. It was so dark we couldn't tell. Like we have
Kurt, Ches, and Bagley.
Yeah, those four. Yeah, those four.
But yeah, that was awesome. I agree with Woody. That was probably one of my favorite things that we've done as a team this year. So
everybody stuck around, even if they weren't in it, they were
going
to be last place. Like everyone stuck around
for sure
to see who won. And
I'm not the best golfer in the world, but I still had like the best time of my life, right, with everybody there. So I think that just goes to show like how special this group is.
Was it a school golf course? Or was it somewhere else? Was it somewhere like?
That was a school one.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, just right over here.
All right, last thing we want to get into, though, is World Juniors.
I mean, it's a little bit different for, Matthew and Ollie because you guys have played in them before. Like, Brodie, do you have any idea what you're in for?
I mean, maybe a little bit. Obviously, I've played at the national team for 2 years, played in a couple international tournaments, got silver at Worlds. So, I mean, I just really want to make this team. Like, I think losing that game, it means a lot more to me now. And, I kind of want a second chance at it. So
yeah, I think, it's kind of the same. I played at U18 Worlds I was able to win a gold medal there with the guys who I played with for 2 year's. And then obviously last year's World Junior experience was unbelievable. And you kind of get a feel obviously got a really good feel for how that tournament's kind of how big it is. And kind of what it takes to win there. So yeah, honestly, just really looking forward to this next couple months, and it'd mean the world to me to win another one. So,
and obviously, like USA Canada, like is always going to be the premier rivalry. But Ollie, it feels like Sweden's kind of narrowing the gap a little bit. Is that fair to say, or is it not even close still?
Yeah, I think Sweden, for my age group, I think Sweden's obviously a big rival. It's USA Sweden. It goes back forever too. So, I mean, I'm not going to compare the two rivals. I think that both of them are pretty. If you're playing any team in a gold medal game, you're gonna give your best effort. But yeah, I think it's obviously another big rivalry for sure.
Matthew, I'm pretty much going to hand it over to Isha, but I just know like Canada is different. Like for you guys, any of the teams could win a Stanley Cup. Like anything could happen. World Junior Gold is like the be all end all, and for other nations it sucks if you lose, but for you guys, like losing feels unacceptable. Is that fair?
Yeah. I think, I mean, especially tournament being held in Canada makes it a really massive deal there. And especially, it's just kind of, I mean, I'll speak for my family and other families that I know. It's just kind of like what you do around the holidays is watch that tournament. And I mean, yeah, I'm heading out for camp tomorrow. Really excited for opportunity to try to make this team, and I'm going to give it all that I have for sure, because this is my last chance to play in the World Juniors. And anytime you get a chance to put on your country's jersey, I think it means more every single time, to be honest. And last year was unfortunate. We lost in the quarterfinals. So bringing the tournament back to Canada, it's going to be, people expect a big bounce back year for us.
Yeah, it's just so like intertwined in like Canadian, I guess, and Canadian holiday tradition. Like you said, it's like, for me, I care less about hanging out with my family during Christmas and more watching World Juniors with family and friends. And like when I was in college, traveling, I lived a few hours away from where I went to college, and like driving back and forth, seeing families, and going back to like my place or to go hang out with friends. Like we were watching it on our phones, like during the drive. Like it didn't matter if it was Kazakhstan versus Slovakia, even like we were watching all the games. So I just wanted to ask, like from like American kids' perspective, is it as important? Like, is it like Olympic level important? Is it your high school hockey important? Is it like your college hockey team important? Or is it just from a hockey player or like an American hockey fan? Is it another important tournament, but you know, maybe some of those other two are higher on the list?
You know what? I think it means a ton to us as well. Like I've remember watching it during Christmas too. Like I think it was the COVID year when Trevor Zegras like had that unbelievable tournament. He like set all those records they won. Like that was the coolest thing ever. Like I thought that was something that I wanted to do, and it was like a new goal that I wanted to accomplish. And just watching that, I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, I remember that tournament. I remember just growing up, like watching it around the holidays. You get the family together. I think it's something that Americans do too. I think obviously the hockey community I think people in Canada might be a little bigger, but I think there's a ton of hockey fans in America, and it just continues to grow. And yeah, it's a huge deal, I think, here as well.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. Really appreciate all three of you for jumping on with us. Ollie, I'm going to let you tee this up for the boys, because you were our first ever Waggle Golf Foursome interview. So this is everyone for our good friends at Waggle Golf. Go to getyourwaggleon.com. Throw in promo code SP10. Take 10% off your entire order. Ollie, what do we got here for the boys?
Yeah, so first time I came on, obviously, as you guys asked me this question, I thought it was a great question. What would your guys' dream foursome be if you guys were to play golf with three other people? Anyone in the world
Dead
ever.
or alive, celebrities,
Dead or alive
hockey
ever.
players,
Okay.
family, whatever.
Ever.
And what's the important caveat there?
It's like you and then three other people.
Yeah.
So
Not four people and you're sitting on the
not
side watching.
four people and then you're just in the cart. Like,
He's the driver.
It makes you feel better. You weren't the only one that's done that. But now
okay,
I
good.
go out of my way to tell people,
Yeah.
you plus three.
yeah, because three makes it a lot harder, I think. It's like
It does,
narrow
it
it
does.
down. So
Let's go back and forth. Pick one at a time. We'll start with you.
Are we going? We can't pick
guys-
the same guy. Yeah, let's do that.
that'd be
way
fun.
more
That'd be
yeah.
fun.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you guys are gonna double up the whole.
yeah.
I'm gonna go Tom Brady.
Nice.
Tiger Woods.
I'll probably go Phil Mickelson.
That'd be good.
The lefty?
rivalry with the two cards next to each other.
Lefty.
I feel like he'd be able to help me out a little bit.
I'm gonna go Michael Jordan.
Better show up with a lot of money in the pockets.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go. I'm gonna go with Lemieux.
There you go.
Wait, which one?
Mario.
Isha and I might be the only people in vicinity that still say that Lemieux is better than Gretzky, but
I mean, I'm not gonna.
I mean, you just picked him over Gretzky, so
I-
it sounds
I'm-
like you agree.
I've been a Penguins fan since I was young, so I just think that'd be pretty cool.
I'll go David Pasternak for my last one.
Good style.
Seemed like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he'd be.
You can
fun
make
to
that
play
happen
with, so
potentially in the future. You never
yeah.
know.
He'd be a fun guy to go to his cup party if they
Yeah.
like, what he would be like.
Or just international.
I was
party.
just
You
gonna
saw
say,
the
I wanna
videos
go to his
from when they won
international
the
party
world
instead.
championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
They like
nuts.
shut down Prague. It was awesome.
That was nuts.
So who would be in your cart then of the three you picked? Like who would be there? Who would you ride with in that scenario?
I'd probably ride with Pasternak. I just feel like talk to him about hockey and stuff
Yeah.
like that too. So, and he seems like a funny guy. So
Let Jordan and Tiger fight it
Yeah,
out. You know,
yeah, let them
do
focus on
let
the
them do
golf.
the gambling and stuff and worry about that. Or something
Only
later.
one of them's coming off, of course.
I'd probably pick Tom Brady, just because I saw him and Bryson DeChambeau had a YouTube video together, and he was sharing some pretty cool stories, and I just think I'd love to ask him about all those games that he played in, and overall, just how he views life and stuff.
Nice. Well, no, everyone, again, that's from our good friends, Waggle Golf. Get your waggleon.com. I'm going to throw this in here, guys. Just curious. Have you guys ever, I know you said there hasn't been much chirping or banter thus far. Is there any kind of friendly wagers that you've ever made on this kind of stuff? Like one that I've done in the past that is, not monetary, but it hurts. It cuts deep, is the jersey bet. Have you guys ever done that one?
You wear a jersey to a game, or
No, let's say, for example, you guys take down gold. He's got to wear USA gear for a whole day out here, and vice versa.
I mean, I would, whatever.
We could do that if you
Let's-
want.
I think we should-
I was throwing that out as an example of stuff I've done. I'm not telling you guys to do it. I'm like,
Have you guys ever
is
done
there-
that
is there
before? Have
any
you guys ever
kind
done
of,
that before? Like whether it's in
What Killer came out in?
yeah.
Coach
Was
Miller came out in what jersey was it?
It was a
Football?
Vikings jersey.
Jefferson.
Yeah, Justin
Yeah, yeah.
Jefferson jersey because Green Bay.
Yeah. So I think that might have been him and Motts had that going on.
You guys have never had any other stuff like that, like growing up or anything, where you and your buddy have different teams? Because for me and my brother, I'm like you, Matthew. I grew up a Penguins fan because there was no Wild team, and my brother apparently hates me and decided he was going to be a Flyers fan. So we would do the jersey bets,
Oh, yeah.
and it was brutal.
Classic.
Yeah,
It's-
that's
it's
a good
pretty-
rivalry.
it's
That's a
pretty
great
tough.
rivalry. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean definitely seen videos of guys in the NHL. They do that stuff where if they had played on a World Junior team and they had a teammate who played on a different World Junior team, they would make some sort of bet like that. But I haven't really done it personally.
a lot of NFL players do that too, like the college teams, like Michigan Ohio State game, like
Oh yeah.
like Woods and those guys would wear that, a lot of stuff happens in those kind of
Joe,
things.
Joe only brings that up right now because he's a Michigan guy. And I just
I went to school in
embarrassed
Michigan.
Ohio
Me
State
and Tom Brady
yet
went to school
again.
together. Me and Tom Brady went to school. He was a senior, I was a freshman. So no, it's a
a
long
big
time
deal.
ago.
They've golfed together
Yeah.
a few times. Yeah.
Not quite. but-
Upon graduation, your muscle mass was double his easily.
Yeah, I got one more before we wrap this up. Out of all the teams that usually make the tournament that are outside of the top tier in Slovakia, Czech, Sweden, Finland. So we're talking Switzerland, Kazakhstan, if you guys have the chance to play them. What's a sleeper program that you're they were harder than we expected, or we knew and prepared and made it look easier than maybe the fans? From a fan perspective, Switzerland always seems like a sneaky good and talented team, but from your guys' perspective, Canada and playing for the States, what is one of those random nations that was damn, they're harder than they seemed?
I think for me last year, I remember we played Latvia and we only beat them 4-1, and it was it wasn't
Right.
it was kind of they were good, they were structured, they skated well. That was one team for sure that kind of didn't take us off guard, but was better than we maybe originally thought.
I think for my team, playing against Switzerland was always pretty tough for us. It was 4-2, I think, in the quarters this last year at Worlds. we played in Switzerland twice our 17s year. Like, they always played really hard, and they just battled. Like, they were always tough to beat. They had a really good goalie. So
I would say, I mean, definitely Switzerland is really hard to play against. They play fast. I played on U18 team. We had a tournament in Germany, and we had an exhibition game against Switzerland, and I'm pretty sure we won in a shootout, if I remember that correctly. And then pretty sure we also lost to Germany that tournament as well. So Germany, they had a lot of great players in that tournament, and I would probably pick Germany.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Switzerland's coach, or former coach, he was quite the character as well, Mr. Christian Wohler.
Yeah.
They do everything better. How many first rounders do they have? We have
Exactly.
we have
I
one,
remember
fourth
that interview.
round. So is this what you tell your team? Exactly that.
Yeah, that's like his most abused soundbite is exactly that.
What did you learn about them in the pre-tournament game you played?
Learn that we are far away from them still. They're faster, they're bigger, they're stronger, they can shoot better, they can pass better, they can do everything better.
So is this what you'll tell your team? Like, what do you say to your team?
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, guys. This was awesome.
Yeah,
Really
thank you
appreciate
guys.
it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best of luck and
Best
everything
of
with
luck
that.
with camps.
Thank you guys
very
for having
much.
us on. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.